Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all again after the breakout session. We have a few housekeeping notes to make before we begin with the session. After the session, you can interact with the speaker by utilizing the chat function or by submitting the question. Good afternoon to our guest speaker, our Director, Amity Law School, other invited dignitaries and delegates. I, Anupriya Yadav, Assistant Professor, Amity Law School, Amity University, Lucknow campus, welcomes you all in the first technical session of the 5th Faculty Development Program. Managerial skills are valuable for professionals in every field, including law. While the primary focus of law professionals is their legal expertise, possessing strong managerial skill can greatly enhance their effectiveness in their roles. Like some of the valuable skills include leadership, time management, and communication, to name a few. It is my pleasure to invite our esteemed Director, Amity Law School, Professor Dr. Jaiprakash Yadav, sir, to deliver the welcome address and set the tone for this memorable gathering. So please.
Thank you, Andrea. Good afternoon to one and all. At the outset, I would like to welcome on behalf of Amity Law School, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow, to our honorable guest speaker, Dr. Parvez Hayat, Indian Police Service, retired 1984 batch. A hearty welcome to you, sir, to deliver on the second technical sessions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We have gathered here to gain insights and knowledge from an exceptional whose expertise and experiences will undoubtedly inspire and enlighten us all. Dr. Parvez Hayat. Although sir couldn't be present here physically, but technology has made it possible for us to connect and benefit from his managerial skills and immense knowledge and expertise. So we'll address on the theme managerial skills and professionals. Before we proceed, let me take a moment to introduce our esteemed speaker. Dr. Parvez Hayat has served Government of India in various capacities as part of the prestigious Indian Police Service of 1984 batch and has held last posting at the Director General of Police, State Headquarters, Government of Jharkhand, Ranchi. Government of Jharkhand has acknowledged Sir with the President's Medal for Meritorious Service in the year 2013. Sir has done his PhD on disaster management and is a law graduate from Delhi University. Sir has over 30 years of experience in administration, law enforcement, ethics and governance, and vigilance compliance, and has also served as Chief Vigilance Officer for 5 years. Besides this, Sir was posted as ADGP PPRND in a think tank of Ministry of Home Affairs. Sir has also attended various management courses on corporate ethics, ethics and corporate governance at University of Berkeley, California, at Goldman Sachs Institute of Public Policy and Management, and also at ENA Paris, France. Furthermore, Sir is well versed with ethics, anti-corruption laws, compliances, procurement, cyber laws, victim rights, prison reforms, to name a few. Sir is also associated with NGOs on health and education and is a CSR consultant in Accentuating. Sir is also the member of various prestigious bodies such as National Committee on Ethics and Integrity of CII, Vigilance, Compliance and Anti-Corruption, Legal Issues, CSR Monitoring and Audit, Social Audit of and Social Health Projects, to name a few. Sir has also published articles in various national and international journals of international repute such as Resilient Smart Cities, A Global Perspective at International Congress, JNU, New Delhi. Sustainable Development and Disaster Resilience at International Conference at Asian Institute of Technology at Bangkok. Sir has also authored and co-authored various books at national as well as international repute and has also been the reviewer and editor-in-chief. Without further delay, let us extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speaker. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. You have spoken so much. So, respected Dr. Anil Kumar Tiwari Sahab, with the Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor J.P. Yadav, and of course, Dean, and also the lady Professor, Assistant Professor just spoken. So, your topic, you know, that your main topic is integration of how law is inextricably inherent in all systems and process of either it is governance, society, even environment. So it's very difficult to confine myself for 10 minutes to do justice with what exactly I wanted to speak. I can speak on governance, anti-corruption laws across the globe. What is the laws, anti-corruption law in USA and France and UK and India compared. So since I am also, you have left that I am also the advisor in the two ministry, like Center for Climate Sustainability and disaster management in Jamia Millia University, where I am there for the last 2 years. I teach the MSc student on climate sustainability as well as disaster management, and I'm also the advisor on this Department of Sustainable Development and Disaster Studies in Bennett University, promoted by Times of India. Besides, also I am the member currently of the G20, working on green hydrogen, climate change, and more so on the green hydrogen and grey water. So I will be just talking, a bit more because of my PhD in disaster management, what my niece told me to speak the disaster, how the climate change and the connect between the climate change and the disaster. As we all know that the United Nations General Secretary spoke in December 2022, saying that if the world do not take action, like reducing the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, say 43% by 2030, there will be a climate catastrophe. So the climate change and that recently over a decade, we are noticing that number of natural disasters are increasing, that too mostly climate triggered, climate change triggered disasters. We forget earthquake and other things. Since there has been a lot of advancement in the science and technology in the early warning system, so now over a period of time, the number of natural disasters are increasing and economic losses are increasing, though the deaths are very less because of the advancement in science and technology. Like just see the recent disaster which was coming up, cyclone. We were aware, because of the early warning system for the last 3-4, the earlier couple of maybe 2 decades back or so, nobody knew when the disaster is visiting. Now, but the economic losses are increasing, the amount of damage. So, and also the climate related, the climate change is causing the global warming, sea level rises, the melting of the glaciers, and because of the global warming, the heat waves and the rising of the sea level, so that is causing the hurricanes and cyclone, which just see frequently the floods, the Madras flood. So there was a time when we noticed that a lot of disaster in India is to come from the Bay of Bengal, and the Arabian Sea used to be, like still. Now we are having more and more disturbance and disaster like Madras flood 2018, 19, 21 cause momentous huge losses. So now both Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, we are finding there's so many natural disasters are taking place because of climate change. So coming to your subject, law, how law is integrated. Even there is you'll find that certain faculties, almost in all the faculties in university where the law disasters are being taught, there will be a faculty who shall be specializing in disaster and law. In Bennett University, I know the lady professor, she has done PhD from JNU. So the law is so important. When I was doing law in the year 2005-8, when I was very much in service in the rank of the DIG, from the D University in the evening classes, we used to notice that how many, I was surprised how many people working in the multinational and private sector, they used to come and they were attending the classes beside the bureaucrat in the evening, because all the subject, MNC, the intellectual property rights. So the law is so much inherent, and it is inextricably inherent in the all kinds of social, economic, environmental issues, including the disaster. If you recall, there was a case of MC Mehta versus the Delhi government, where in the year 1995, how there were so many hazardous industries in Delhi city itself, So because of that judgment, the Honorable Delhi High Court passed judgment to remove all the hazardous industries from the outskirts of Delhi and shift it out of the Delhi. So that how even in the case of the disaster, it is a waste management, or it is a victim issue, social issues. So there are many instances where the law has, the Honorable Supreme Court and High Court, they have intervened. And so when I was talking about the connect between the climate change and the disaster, I left one point, how because of this climate change, the heat waves, the drought, you must be noticing the longer duration of the drought and the shorter duration of the rain. And on a particular day, we noticed that the very heavy rains that is taking the city to the haywire, and scanty rain, but irregular rain, and the period is also shifting. It is all because of the climate change. And also the drought, longer duration of drought. Just see in Kerala drought, they hit very badly last year, with the result, the produce of this cardamom, where the people were dependent. That is one year only one produce takes place. So people suffered. The drought is causing then also it is causing a water crisis. Recently in Copenhagen in December 2022, there was a conference on water crisis, how there is a shortage of fresh water. And now we are talking about the production of the hydrogen as a climate change. The whole world is migrating from non-fossil to fossil fuel. Even climate conference. As you know, there are so many international conferences and conventions, but the climate conference was the first conference which has a legal binding. All the countries were the signatory to the climate conference in Paris 2015, and after that there's a Glasgow, and now Sharm el-Sheikh recently. So there's a legal binding internationally. Likewise, how law is going from national to international, UNCAC, United Nations Convention on Anti-Corruption, it is located, UN office located in Paris. Because of that commitment, India made changes. Whenever the India is a signatory to any international covenant, and they sign and they agree, they have to move amendments in Parliament. So likewise, the 1988 anti-corruption law, you might have noticed that now into the Parliament had to enact law, make amendment based on its commitment in the United Nations Convention on Anti-Corruption Law. The Parliament moved the law in 2014. Finally, 2018, it became a law. Now, in the PC Act, there has been a lot of sweeping changes. I'll not go into that. That will take a lot of time. That how, because the UNCAC, India committed that India was directed and agreed to make laws, to make private sector also, to bring them under the ambit of law. And because with the recent change, you just see that even the commercial bribery is also a law. Even in the listed company, if they are directly, indirectly encouraging and in their knowledge and they are not taking action, so they are also can be arrested. So likewise in disaster, I was coming back to disaster and law. In the year 1995, the chief minister, the then chief minister of MP, he was making a motel, motel. It was coming up, and they constructed in a way that it changed the discourse of the river. The people were affected. They knew that it will may cause inundation and flooding in the nearby villages, and there was a PIL form filed in the Supreme Court of India, and in the judgment, because of that judgment, the motel was stopped construction. So many instances are there where the Honorable High Court and Supreme Court have intervened even in the like disaster victims. There is United States 1935 US Social Security law. That was a very encompassing law that also talk about victims compensation. It also talks about largely in terms of disaster victim compensation and war victim compensation. So there only just see how many laws in India have been enacted by the parliament because of the intervention by the Honorable High Court and Supreme Court of India. Like your RTI Act 2005, it was because of the state of UP versus Raj Narayan. Based on that, the RTI was also, this act was in. And also there was even this case, the sexual harassment at the workplace, 2013. That also because of the SC judgment intervened and this law came. Likewise, in the victim, just see the victim compensation. In the United States was the first Supreme Court of world in 1935 enacted law that as and when any victim, largely the women victim or so, when the trial takes place before the trial, any trial court in the US will take any decision when there will be a society, there will be a committee will be formed. Every trial court will form a committee of social scientists, sociologists, psychologists, and financial expert in order to assess the amount of emotional journey, in the disaster also, emotional journey, whether a lady has lost his husband, or lost his children, whether the husband is lost or wife, and also in the case of the crime against women, whether the women, her husband has been killed or she has been molested. So that society, that committee, before the law is delivered, judgment is delivered, it will be the quantum of punishment and the quantum of compensation will be based on this recommendation of this committee will assess how much is the financial loss and how much financial requirement is there, how whether the ladies should based on her social stature and also the amount of social and emotional injury. And that taking that clue after so much of decades, maybe just see US 1935, and in India, the Nirbhaya case, the Supreme Court of India taking the cue from that law, US, this was delivered by Supreme Court in 1935. The Nirbhaya case was the first judgment where the justice was done to the crime of victims, like rights. There was no rights to victims, sadly, in India. There has been scanty here and there judgment, but it was the first landmark judgment given in this Nirbhaya case, in which the victim compensation also took place and the right of victims were recognized. Now, based on the Supreme Court direction, now India, although the law there is no Victim Witness Protection Act, but 2018, because of the Supreme Honorable PIL moved in Supreme Court of India, the government of India has created a scheme approved by the Parliament, that is the Witness Protection Scheme 2018. That talks about, identity, masking of the identity, address, telephone number will be different, protection, and so many things are there, compensation, security and all that. So I was taking that even in social area, even the disasters. So in all respects, how important the legal, intervention and the law. So there is hardly any aspect. So I will not go into the detail, but 1995 PIL, it was filed by MC Mehta, well-known environmental activities seeking the closure of hazardous industries operating in the residential area of Delhi. That was the landmark judgment, 1996. After that, in 2003 as well, there was a PIL filed by Indian Council of Enviro Legal Action, seeking the implementation of the master plan of Delhi 2021. Based on that, the Delhi High Court ensured and directed the government to take a step to, implement the plan in which all the hazardous, creating the waste, creating the carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere, they were shifted from out of the Delhi. Delhi High Court in 2009, again based on a PIL, heard the Indian, Social Responsibility Network seeking the closure of hazardous industries in Delhi, 2009, like in 2012, etc. So just see even in the legal, in Delhi itself, just because of the intervention by Honorable High Court and the Supreme Court, because there are the disasters, So time and again, what a nice topic you have chosen, that law is one subject. Either it is a corporate governance, social security, and we talk about the victims' right. We talk about the disasters and crime, the crime in disasters, and Supreme Court, the first disaster in the world, which when the disaster research started, came into disaster subject as a subject, came into the public discourse after the 2005 hurricane. That was the very, very huge loss of life in 2005, in which also the Honorable Supreme Court of US intervened, and they made some certain laws, and how the FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Authority, was created in 2005. And just see the parallel if you draw in India after the Gujarat earthquake 2001, and then the 2005 in India also, the Disaster Management Act was passed. It was all because of the intervention by the Honorable Supreme Court of India here and there. So a lot of institutions have come up, lot of enactment has taken. There is hardly any aspect, either it is gender, justice and all. So I think I will close, but it is such a vast area in area. I can speak for 1 hour or so. So any question, either in form of the governance, anti-corruption, victims' rights. I have written an article also, the need for victim-oriented policing in India, an overview. It was written in consultation with the Honorable then Justice Supreme Court, Mr. Justice Lukur. He has also spoken and delivered a judgment in victims' right direction, because in India there was no right to the victims. Accused had more rights. So any question, I am there to take. Thank you very much. Hello? Hello, hello.
Yes, sir. Sir, we would love to hear some more managerial skills related to the legal profession, sir, if you could continue more, sir.
Managerial skills.
Yes, sir.
So I will tell you the interesting story. When I was in Berkeley, I was doing my course. It was a short course on public governance and how the managerial skills, how important, and what managerial skills are important, because being in the present day, because you have to know the technology, because the technology is ever upgradable. So there was, the professor talked about in Berkeley in 2013, I guess, what is the difference between a good manager and bad manager. So he talked about one Professor Khan. He was a very nice manager, means he was the head of an business establishment. He was so nice that whenever anybody came late and apologized, sir, I got late because of this. Okay, next time you be in line. Some employees had any difficulty even getting the child admission. He used to be very nice and helpful. So, and there was another Professor Jackson who was too tough. Even if when an employee whose child fell off in the morning from the staircase, he took the child to the hospital. So he got late. He came, he rushed to the office, knowing that the manager, the head of the office is very tough. So then the head, that the manager, the leader or manager we were talking about, he was so tough. He did not give him audience. He wanted to tell him that such and such incident. No, you are late. So mark him absent. So there were so many instances. I'm just getting it short. So it is very important that a manager has to. And so what happened when there was a crisis in that company where Mr. Khan was heading, and he was such a soft man. So many employees, when he passed an order, look, there is a lot of crisis. We have to work 2-3 hours, little more for a couple of weeks. So more than 90% employees said, no, our office time is 9 to 5, sir, and we are very sorry, except few exceptions. So what we are learning, that being too nice is also not the quality of a good manager. Likewise, this gentleman was so too tough. that it created a lot of, problems, and the employees were going on a strike and all, because he was very tough. He was emotionally totally a dry man. So to be a successful manager, it is very important that communication is the communication, and also the emotive aspects. One can't be a total robot, so to be a successful person, he should have a very good communication, connect with so there he should be tough when it is required, and it should be very mild and emotive when it is required. So this is the something, I didn't know that I speak more on that, but the managerial skill, also like in the present day, to be a very good manager, you have to be, number one, you have to be tech savvy, and you have to be multitasking. Anybody who has to be a successful manager has to be a multitasking. Like these days, even if you see the HR policies and all the policy maker, they will see that a person who is a very good communicator, effective communicator, and he's deft in interacting both horizontally and vertically. Those people, manager, who generally they work, they remain horizontally. They will be only talking about the senior officers and not trying to know what is going on down the line and what are the issues and problems down the line. So I will tell you the stints of myself when I was in BPR&D in the think tank. So when I was doing an inspection of the office, I found a lady. She was not on a seat. I asked her, where is she? Then we realized that she was sitting in one of her chamber, lying down, because a female may have the either because of the menses and because of may have some problem. So this is why then we ordered that every room, every floor must have some small room in which the ladies, they can sometimes they may have to adjust their dresses or for other reason or some. So all these things are very important, that if in any skillful manager will be always very open to look into the grievances, and also try to, and another thing is skill is very important to how subtly you have information gathering. So it is very important to have an information gathering always. They find out which are the officers who are meeting people, allowing unauthorized people to come. So all this suddenly checking the surprise visitor registers and all that. So it is a very it will vary from situation to corporate, but definitely in the modern day of the technology. Again, I will come back to law and also the anti-corruption. I recall that the Satyam scam, it happened because there was nothing called machine learning and artificial intelligence. The chief CEO of Satyam scam happened, and many scams in the world, they happen because there was nothing called machine learning. And now, because of the artificial learning and the advancements of technology, those scams cannot take place. Although human intelligence is so, even if you have ChatGPT, but again, human intelligence can even fail the whatever you get out from the ChatGPT, until unless the human intelligence. So look, what happened that in Satyam scam, 12 o'clock in the night, every day, 2-3 times, the CEO and the chief financial officer, they used to go and fudge some account, make some false entries, issue some false letter they were never sent, showing that a lot of business is coming, showing that lots of deposits are being deposited to such and such bank, giving a very false impression to the employees, so that they could not know that the company was not doing full and they were siphoning the fund. Now, every top offices are using machine learning devices. Suppose anybody is coming, every office people are working at 5 to 6, or maybe 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Suddenly, if 11 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 11, 12 midnight, any employees goes and open the office, what will happen? The machine learning, it will send alert to all the concerned top bureau. So I would like to take questions and managerial skills. Like I think it's no end to it. There are so many examples I can give. So any question I would like to take, because I have an appointment with the dentist. So I have to leave within say 20-30 minutes. Okay, ma'am?
Questions? Anyone would like to ask the questions? Sir, although I have received the questions, so may I ask the question?
Yes, please.
Sir, considering the dynamic nature of the legal industry, how can the law professionals adapt their managerial skills to effectively navigate changes and challenges within their organization?
You know, it depends in the public sector and the private sector. So in the private sector, the challenges are enormous, and it is more so sadly, it is the private sector, the challenges are so that is a profit driven, you know. Even if somebody, an employee is very outstanding, very nice behavior, but if he makes one small error, he may be taken to the task, he may be fired. You are already finding that without reason. So in the public sector, this situation is very, very difficult. You know, always the public sector, any junior officer is committing any error, so the senior officer will be always giving him corrective suggestion. So it is also very important that senior officer, they are also accountable and responsible for the low performance of the juniors or for the underperformance. So it's not that when you talk about the giving annual confidential report, it is the responsibility of the senior officer that you cannot give a bad ACR, a confidential report, until unless a senior officer has given verbal and written, you know, corrective suggestion to his junior. So definitely, so this is very important. Like in the All India services, the ACR rule in All India services is very specific. Any senior officer cannot give a bad ACR or average ACR to his employees. They have to prove that this officer was given advisories issued verbally and written, and he did not correct himself. So by in the private sector, the challenges in the legal, the field is very high because it is very competitive. For one single mistake, I have seen in the Amarchal Mangaldas company, they are firing their employees and not realizing that what would have been the circumstances. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Well, next question, sir. The participants have asked that what are the basic managerial skills that they can incorporate for their growth and development?
Basic managerial skill.
Yes, sir.
I told you about the basic managerial skill is that he has to be deft in, interpersonal relationship. These days, most of the successful leader is not that content-wise they are very strong. The most successful leader, including Churchill, have been those who have a very socially very direct. The PR skill, the communication skill, and the emotional skill. You know, when we are talking about what happened during the COVID, many people went abroad, parents spent bond money, but in the foreign university, what happened because of the COVID, there was no scope for learning social skill and emotional skill. So to be a very successful, to get a good managerial skill is very important that he has to be very, very respectful to both his junior, horizontally, vertically, and his behavior has to be. If the behavior of a person is very good to his junior and senior and also to his colleague, that will pay him more than other being a social. This is called social skill, social interaction, vertical, horizontal, and among the close. So his behavior and his PR management, that will lead him to a successful. Then not that somebody is very, you find that there is a gold medalist doctor. He may be a poor physician in the, when he goes to the practice. Likewise, a very, in my class, there was a student I know, he was a top DU. I was 5. He was top DU, but when he was working in this company like Luthra and Luthra Associate, so I visited his office. So I found the complexity and the timing, and his was very knowledge. So it is not only the always knowledge and content. It is very important that your behavior, your total, whether you're taking to cognizance the kind of milieu and your relationship with senior, junior, and the hard work. There's no substitute to the hard work. All right.
Thank you, sir. So recently you have mentioned about ChatGPT in our inaugural session. Also, our chief guest talked about the ChatGPT, the AI that is all around the IoT that we are dealing with nowadays. Sir, could you relate this use of ChatGPT role in the disaster management, sir?
Yes, I have written, I can share to your student that how artificial intelligence, like ChatGPT means when ChatGPT to use ChatGPT to make good use of ChatGPT also, you have to organize your questions. You chat to how much training you have and how many school you have. You have to first design what question. Suppose you want to know how to write a very good resume, you go to the chat GPT, you ask, so you must know which should be the next leading question. So but again, I'm going to write a book on the connect between natural disasters and climate change, and also something to do with the how the gray water can be how artificial intelligence can convert the gray water to potable water. So I asked the chat GPT, so how it is facilitating, it gives you many choices. Again, I say human intelligence cannot be substituted. Human intelligence, your own human intelligence will always, so they have made your job easy. But again, I picked up what I do. They given me 4, 5 suggestion, title, subtitle. What I do, I design something better than what they suggested. And again, the chat GPT, the issue is that you have to get it verified. Whatever information you are getting from the chat GPT, you cannot just rely on that. And you can ask them, what is the source? Whenever I ask chat GPT for anything, any question, how gray water can be used in the production of the hydrogen, because the fresh water, there is a scarcity to produce 1 liter of hydrogen gas. You have to burn 11 liter of the fresh water, but there is a scarcity of fresh water because of the climate change. So the chat GPT gave me many answers. Then I asked them, what is your source? So they become silent. Sometimes they give you correct source. Sometimes they will not give you correct source. So what you have to do, you have to again go to the Google search. Sometime you have to, and also you have some other, like Google Books and all that. So whatever fact they're giving, and right in the beginning, each and every AI machine, every artificial in chat GPT, whatever there you have, you'll find the ranking 4.2, 4.5, AI chat GPT by 4.7. So still, they write in the beginning, they write that our facts may or may not be correct in all the time. So these are the challenges of the chat GPT. I will not go into the negative aspect. Whole world is talking about UK and besides world, how to regulate the chat GPT, because it is also whatever advancement in take place in technology, there will be always a negative aspect. So chat GPT, the person who is using it, asking question, has to be very intelligent and ask the supplementary question or the next question just to get more about ChatGPT. Then you have to human intelligence using your own mind. You have to organize it, get the fact check. Otherwise, it is just doing a lot of work. Like suppose to write a preface of a book. So you might take 4 or 5 days to go through this search and that search. It makes you talk easy, but one is to be very careful that whatever they are writing, you ask the source, get it checked up on the Google and other sources. Only then you can use it. You cannot use it. Otherwise, you're going or you are writing a paper and you may be caught because you have not checked what ChatGPT is giving. After all, it is a machine.
Thank you so much, sir. One of the participants has asked a question, Rajesh Tripathi, that are there any ethical considerations that law professionals need to keep in mind while applying their managerial skills in the legal field?
Absolutely, ethical consideration is very, very important. There are many instances are there where the law professional were working in a in court, either in the litigation or in the profession. They have often they have they have gone shortcut, or they have borrowed some, suppose they are making a PIL and they consult, cut pays, this, that, So ethical consideration is there. If they are not honest to their work, ethical consideration will also, incorporate the discipline, the timing, and also whatever, what happen often the senior person who is a senior lawyer, an eminent lawyer, they don't have a time that they believe their subordinate, and the subordinate officers at times, these people, they have to be very, very vibrant and honest to their work. There are instances where they have been fired because they have not done the right homework, and they have borrowed some of the from the work, or the PIL or any petition prepared by junior officers. So ethics in governance, ethics is very, very important in any work you do, because the penalty is very bad. One officer doing one ethical in the ethics in governance, either in law or any profession, not only he will suffer, he make his senior embrace, he make his institution suffer by one non-ethical activities, and it leads to an institution suffer, and when he gets penalized, his family suffered for his one mistake of one officer being unethical in a corporate governance. I know as a chief business officer how much harm was done to the company. More than that, he suffered poor promotion, and his family was not able to move in the society. So ethical consideration are very important in any profession, including legal profession. And legal profession is more important because you never know what the senior person may decide, whether anybody can go to the law also to fix him, like that.
Thank you, sir. One more participant has asked a question, Nivedita. So the question is, are managerial skills employed by the stakeholders different in private institutions and public institutions? If why?
Absolutely. The working environment in the public institution and the private institution there is a huge difference, When I was the chief vigilance officer of the public sector undertaking in Power Grid Corporation of India, holding 3-4 additional charges. So I 2016-14, always you'll find that private sector think, oh, the government, they just function, everything is okay in government, but this is not back. In the private sector, one single boss is very important. In public sector, it is not. If a junior officer is very, very honest and very competent and honest to his work, and he is writing on the file whatever is, is correct, then senior officer cannot take him to the toss. Maybe the senior officer may suffer more. In the private sector, the chief vigilance officer in a government company is he works on the behalf of the Central Vigilance Commission, that is a statutory body. In the private sector, what happened? CEO is the god, everything flow from the top, right or left, they may be talking a lot of jargons and, delivery. So it is all profit oriented. So the working environment in the private and, ethical consideration also will be very different. In the government sector, because the many other agencies is involved. For example, a person serving as a chief vigilance officer in national NTPC or any government, so who all is watching? There is a big brother like CBI, they are watching the public sector. Any government sector is liable for any action because big agencies, IB is there, the corporate fraud agencies are there. Now ED is watching, income tax investigation is watching. But in the private sector, who is watching? A single person, the boss, right and wrong, whatever he says, you have to compromise. If you want to go for ethical consideration, etc., at time they have to compromise. But here there are many instances in public sector where a junior officer had taken a call, and finally nobody has been able to touch him because he has been right. But in private sector, you cannot. Anytime, they can fire their director. Who are the director? They appoint independent director, and then the corporate, the Companies Act 2013, Now, it is 13 that makes it mandatory to have an equal number of independent director. The private listed company appoint the independent director, but what independent director can do? They have to go by what company wants. All right. Likewise, so many world fraud are done by their world icon or Satyam, Harshad, and big Enron, all are accounting and auditing fraud. What happens in the private sector? Any private sector people, CEO will go to a professional top agencies like E&Y, McKinsey, and they will say, we want this report like this. Government, it will not happen, because government knows that, oh, CVC is watching, CBI is watching, government is there, PMO is there. So many committees are there. Committees of parliament is there. Every parliament, the parliamentary committee on the science and technology, parliamentary committee on the security, committee on the environment. Every aspect there is a parliamentary committee. So many layers of watchdogs are there. Accountability is there. In the private sector is, so what this professional agency says. When I was in the Central Economic Intelligence Bureau, I know in the both in the Satyam and Telgi, most of the fraud, they used to be all these professional agencies who get paid, like either it is McKinsey, Deloitte. They are professionally so competent. They, whatever report you want, a private sector company, they will give you the report accordingly. So there is no ethical things involved. In the government sector, it will be vetted by many angles. Every ministry there will be a legal advisor, and most of the important aspect issues which is likely to go to the parliament level or going to the minister level, the file is vetted by the legal officer. So there are layers of checks and balances, which is not there in a private sector. It is all driven by CEO of the company. All right.
Thank you, sir. One more question, sir. How can law professionals with managerial skills promote a culture of collaboration and knowledge sharing between legal practitioners and AI specialists within their organization?
Within their organization?
Yes.
I think it is very easy. Like anybody, I told you about everybody has to be a multitasking, and that skill, that social skill, PR skill. Every manager is successful when he has a very good personal relation, both horizontal and vertical. Those things are, that itself is very important. You are talking about AI, means artificial intelligence.
Yes, sir.
How can it help? I don't think the artificial intelligence can help anybody to improve his performance or his social skill and all. Definitely, it can help you. Suppose I give you an example of how to make a very good resume. You write to ChatGPT, to one or two, and you see they are giving you a very right suggestion that will give you any other professional. So definitely any legal professional should consult. They can consult the ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, and to improve. It is not, you're talking about artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence, the role of artificial intelligence, I mean, in the criminal justice system is also very much there. Just see, now whole world is talking. Some murders are taking place when the prisoners are taken to the hospital. Don't you think that how artificial intelligence using the video, why should they be produced physically? So artificial intelligence and machine learning, because of the IoT integration of that, they can always increase the productivity efficiency. When it increases increasing the proficiency, and it increases the transparency in the organizations using the machine learning and the artificial. So the transparency and efficiency shall definitely will lead to the profitability. If any organization, by using the artificial intelligence, that skill, and the machine learning and artificial intelligence, so that helps you to improve what is that? This help you to improve the transparency in the functioning of it, this technology. And I will give another example how this artificial intelligence and this technology help. If there was a fake bill by submitted in one of the legal office, 2460, oblique blah, 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 then 2460, can a human eye catch the difference between the O and zero? They cannot. But this is the computer which can. So this era of artificial intelligence and machine learning, we do not know by next generation to what extent it is going to help increase the transparency level, layers of surveillance because of this artificial intelligence, layers of surveillance, monitoring every aspects of governance in the office. So this, of course, ChatGPT is different. I'm talking about artificial intelligence. Even in every aspect, just see artificial intelligence, for example, smart bin in waste management. You see in Delhi, so many bins are there. You find in the park, it is full, and nobody is bothered. It is, So now in indoor city and many of these smart cities, artificial intelligence and machine learning, they help by using the artificial intelligence. Sitting in the head office, you can monitor all bins working in the park, and it gets alert because there is a chip in every bin, and the chip will alert the head office that such and such park, these bins are full, they will go and replace. So like within the office environment also, many offices are using the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So increasing the transparency in the functioning, in the governance. So transparency and will ultimately lead to the efficiency. When there is a transparency and efficiency, it will automatically and definitely lead to the profitability of the organization and lead to the good governance. All right.
Thank you, sir. So there's one more question from Dr. Rajiv Kumar Singh. So sir has asked that what is the India's so the question is, what is India's union and state government take on green governance?
No, I'm not getting the question.
So what is the India's union government and the state government's take on green governance?
Green governance?
Yes, sir.
Oh, green governance. Definitely the whole world, not only India, all over the world, the given green governance. Green governance means the clean governance. In the terms of governance, when the word used the green word, like when you have a hydrogen, we have the blue hydrogen, gray hydrogen. When you're using a balloon as a child, what is that? That is hydrogen. Already hydrogen is being produced, but they are not green, means they're not clean. There is some pollution. Likewise, the green behavior, everything is, people are talking about the green behavior and green hydrogen, and likewise what you said, the green means that the clean. So what we were talking, I can miss that.
Sir, the question was, what are the
green governance?
Sorry, sir.
Green governance.
Green governance, yes, sir.
Green governance means any organization where there is a transparency, use of technology and transparency in functioning. When there is a transparency in functioning, transparency in the fiscal and also the transparency and fiscal integrity. Like United Nations in the 2008, there was in the sidelines, their concept came, I don't know, in the student of law should know what is called open governance. When you're talking about the green governance, so there is something one can Google to the open governance. 2008, there was a United Nations Assembly conference in the sidelines of the country. Certain countries led by democracies like US, UK, Germany, there were 8 countries. Now we have got 63 countries. Sadly, India is not part of it. Being a government officer, we cannot comment why it is not. The open governance and clean governance is a green governance. Green governance where there is a transparency, fiscal integrity, okay, and open communication. Open governance where there is a stakeholders consultation. What happened in US, other than international laws, if any law for the sake of the society, you cannot make changes in US. Every state is independent. Why they do? There is a stakeholders. In India, you come to know in many cases, people do not know. Suddenly law is made. Nothing has been put on the website. It is mandatory in US, in each and every state, that until unless any change of law which is related to the social benefit, a benefit of the farm laws, do you think the stakeholders were consulted? They were not consulted. So what is open governance and green governance is where there is a stakeholders consultation before any change in law is made, and which is transparency, honesty, fiscal integrity. That is a green governance. All right.
One last question, sir. In your long-term experience, since you have served so long in the government of India, what specific managerial skills do you believe are crucial for law professionals to succeed in their career?
I've already answered it. First is the social skill. Social and emotional learning, social skill, and also the emotional skill is very, very important. So these PR skills are very important to be very successful. If I told you somebody is very, I found the people, I mean, in my office and the government offices, they're very strong. They must be all good medalists, 4 first-class physics. They might have been at number 1 and number 2 and IAS and IPS, but maybe a person who is socially deft, who maintains a very good horizontal, and another thing, collection of intelligence. Very certainly, if you are a good conversationalist and you have a good behavior, you will just go and have a cup of tea just to know what is going on. So maybe you learn, and also that one ego, when we in the All India services join IAS and IPS, so who will teach us? We'll go, first attachment is the police station for IPS officer. We learn from the Havaldar, small thing. They will be very smart. They will not tell how do they make money or how do they, but again, the learning is very important. Like an IAS officer, we are also attached with the court, attached with the office of the CGM. 2 months, we are attachment with the district judge. So it is very important. Anybody to be a successful leader, that skill I'm talking about, to learn from your subordinate. You should not have any ego. And to learn and learn from the subordinates also requires a skill. He will not, subordinates know the Sahabis wants to learn me. When you lead the question or ask him in a way that he is very happy to tell you the fact. So learning from your mistake and learning from your subordinates, learning from the people who have served longer experience, and you should not have a ego. Those people who have ego that, okay, now such and such person, they know is very learned, is a retired person, they will not go. They feel that. So, and sadly, in all the profession, including the government profession, why ethical issues have come up, everybody want to become the fly-by-night operator. And an officer joining in a law company will see that, oh, such and such person who is a CEO, is a deputy CEO, is a partner in legal company, and he's wearing a branded Ferragamo tie. So they don't realize that they must have put their 10 years to 20 years. So initially we were also, buying the Van Heusen was a big thing for us. Now we can afford, So the ethical issues are in the government. We realize that new generation, either in the private sector or the public sector, they want to catch up very fast. They want to adapt. Oh, they should have. Why not? They should have an iPhone 11. When I was my child was asking when he was a 5-6 year old, maybe he was in class 4, was buying the Nike shoe. Intentionally, I was buying a budgeted shoe because it was made in India. So he catch, no, Papa, it is not made in China. It is not made in UK. It is made in India. I want to buy made in China. He had that consciousness. So no, I told him directly that no, made in China boots are not good. I knew that China was a shoe made in Nike better than what is made in India at that time. Now India thinks a lot of change. So ethical consideration is one thing that one should realize, that the senior officers who are living a very good lifestyle over a period, but from how much of journey, from say 10 years of job or 20 years of job, these youngsters, they want to catch up that level in a very short span of time. So this has to be avoided, If you remain simple, sober, and also always have a very, very, you need a very decent life. Doesn't mean that you go for everything branded or you are totally, blowing the money only for the sake of to catch up other that somebody is wearing this brand, why not I brand? Why somebody is using iPhone 14, why not I can also buy it? At the junior level, how can you afford iPhone 14? Somebody is senior is affording because he has put in 20 years of service. So this is what I would like to sum up, that it's very important, the integrity, fiscal integrity, good behavior, and good behavior and good interpersonal relationship skill, it always pay. And of course, the discipline is the cornerstone, that you have to be very disciplined, punctual, and very respectful. Keep your juniors and team along and keep your boss informed, and like that. Be honest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for so much patiently listening to our questions. Your answers would have definitely educated and ignited the sparks among the participants. So with this, we have come to an end of the first technical session of the 5th Faculty Development Program. So it's been privileged to express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has contributed to its success. On behalf of Amity Law School, I would like to extend a warm and sincere vote of thanks to all of those who have made this event possible. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest sense of appreciation to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Parvez Hayat. Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your virtual presence and sharing your valuable knowledge and insights with us. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our director, Professor Dr. J. Prakash Yadav, sir, for his guidance and support. Thank you, sir. I would also like to extend my gratitude to the organizing committee consisting of Dr. Arvind Singh, convener of the event, Dr. Reshma Umair and Dr. Jyoti Yadav, ma'am, co-convener of the event, for their tireless efforts in putting together this event. To our attendees, thank you so much for being a part of this event and for your active participation. And those who have also joined us virtually, your presence and engagement have added immense value to the discussions and networking opportunities. I would also like to express my gratitude to the event staff and volunteers who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes. As we conclude with the event, let us carry forward the inspiration and knowledge we have gained here. Thank you, all of you, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And it is requested from all the participants to please fill the feedback form. It is being shared in the chat box. Thank you.
I also have one information. From tomorrow onward, the first session will take place over here. And after lunch, and second session, you have an options whether you can attend from your cabin or cubicles or from here. Right? Thank you very much. But first session is mandatory. All faculty will be here.